Hello everybody and welcome back to the Phantom Racing League YouTube channel here. We are live for our 10th race of the regular season. Tonight we will be racing at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. How's everybody doing tonight? Come on in, settle down, enjoy yourselves. As our drivers are doing qualifying right now, we'll get ourselves settled in here. How's everyone doing? Big Rig, how you doing tonight? I see you in the chat. I got your message in the party as well. Hope you have a good time. Hope you enjoy the race. Got lots to talk about here heading into tonight and stuff that I'm still trying to get caught up on as well. Seeing who is in this race. Our lineup is ever so changing here. So let's talk about a bit of a recap about what happened last week here. Last week we raced at Gateway. It was a very exciting race start to finish. We got to see a little bit of strategy come into play in that final stage. That ended up determining the winner, as it was Showtime Flash in that number 38 gets his third win of the season on a one-stop strategy when most of the field was on two. He was able to outsmart the field using his strategy magic when he looked like he was down and out of it. So we'll see if he can do that sort of magic again if he needs to, or if he's just going to do it on outright pace. He was the one to knock Ichibro Chase off that throne. He was on a 100% kill rate in Phantom. Finally got defeated, or dethroned, if you will. It was a matter of if or when someone was going to be able to do it, and it looked like it was going to happen because Flash had the superior strategy, but Chase also shockingly had that speeding penalty, which was a big bombshell in that final stage that took him out of contention. So that's gonna hurt his hunt in the points. But let's talk about the points for a minute here. It is still Elvin Priest who is your points leader, but that points lead gap is starting to shrink with each race as Mike RPM is starting to close back in. He's making up that deficit after missing Dover. It's now down to just 8 points. Now Elvin, with the regular season points lead, has yet to win a race this season. He's got top fives in almost every race he's made. Gateway, he had probably one of his worst finishes of the year, finished in the 10th spot after a miscue on the last pit stop sent him all the way towards the back of the running order, which definitely hurt in the points, and it helped Mike close in, and Mike was able to close in with the stage points as well as the one stage win. Finished, I want to say he finished in the 3rd spot, so definitely a battle to be looking out. See if Elvin can get his season back on the right track and get the finishes that he needs. Maybe finish ahead of Mike in a race or two. Maybe finally get that first win of the year and help extend that points lead. But in the meantime, that 4 car is just going to keep on reeling him in. And now, let's take a look at the qualifying. I think they're still going. Yeah, they still waiting on still waiting on qualifying to wrap up. Let's talk about some of our some drivers to look out for heading into tonight. Instead of talking about the obvious drivers, I'm going to talk about drivers that I feel like don't get enough of the spotlight here. Let's start with 19mm for ya in the Penske Ford, car number 12. Coming off a season-high 5th place finish at Gateway last week, was also a benefactor of a one-stop strategy. And he's carrying this momentum into Atlanta here. Now, these mile-and-a-halves have been 19's probably his best. That's where he seems to perform his strongest, and I believe Atlanta might be considered one of his better tracks on the NASCAR schedule. I'll have to check in with that, but seems like he's got a pretty good amount of pace in that number 12 Ford. I was looking at his lap times, and they're definitely up there on the leaderboard. So keep an eye on that number 12 car. He might play spoiler in this race tonight. So he'll be one to look out for. Who else? Another guy to look out for, D-Bat Baseball. He's had a few strikeouts earlier in the year. He's actually been missed a few races. Was deemed to be one of the favorites in this season. He still had some good runs, but just not quite what we were expecting out of him. Not what he was expecting either. And from what I've heard, I feel like that's lit a fire under him. He's been practicing a lot for this race. He's looking to turn his season back in the right direction. He's looking to right the ship here, so watch out for that Wood Brothers number 21 Ford marching his way to the front, with this being a 1.5-mile track, being some of the closest racing that we typically see on the schedule in this game. With how strong the draft is, one second, folks. But yeah, that's something to look out for. D-Bat Baseball in that number 21 Ford. Another guy that could also turn some heads. A few of them, in fact. Maybe he'll be a surprise. Definitely one to look out for. And with an ever-changing starting lineup, we had some last-second drivers unable to make it tonight, including the number 8 car of MFF Nomad. Missed last week, fell into a deficit in points, was looking to rebound tonight. Apparently he's not going to be racing tonight either. I want to give a shout out to FR Shovelhead, who's also coming off a strong run last week, also unable to make it. And with all he's doing right now, I wish nothing but the best for him. Prayers out to him with what he's dealing with. It's a very unfortunate situation with him. He's dealing with some personal stuff at the moment, so he's not going to make it either. And it's a bro Chase, not racing tonight either, which means this race is now wide open for just about everybody in this field tonight. So with It's Bro Chase not racing tonight, it's anyone's guess who's able to win tonight. And qualifying looks like it just wrapped up, so that hardly gives me any time to introduce some of our newcomers here. I might as well get at least one of them out of the way. I know for sure is in this race tonight. This is the number 22 car, driven by old Johnny Boy 512. He's a good friend of mine. I actually race with them on Sunday nights in the LNR Xfinity Slider League. He's a very, very good guy to race with. He's very clean. He's also very fast. He's definitely quick over there in the sliders. I haven't really seen much of him over here in customs, but when I did, he was also bringing the heat over there as well. So I'll be watching out for the number 22 car in this field here. One second. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Be flying this one solo. I think we might have another last second edition. We had several here, and I already only addressed one of them. Old Johnny Boy was confirmed to be running this race last night. What is up? Another driver. I'll have to look here. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight, and it is MJ Bros on the pole once again by 100th of a second over Elvin Priest here at a 28.988 versus a 28.999. 1/1000th under 29 seconds. Unbelievable. So yeah, MJ Bros on the pole, edging out Elvin Priest by only 1/100th of a second. 28.988 versus a 28.999. That is your front row. Up. So starting in the second spot is Elvin. Or wait, no. Where'd he go? Not yet.
We're gonna go quick.
1 second, folks. Alright, sorry about that, folks. I guess we'll figure out the starting lineup here, and it's actually one of the... So this is why I need to keep notes, because this was one of the big storylines I was looking to bring up here in pre-race, and it's a thing that every single league, every single public lobby, private lobby in this game has been dealing with for the last several months, especially the last several weeks. And that's the continuous lag storms that have been coming up on the radar. Everyone having to evacuate the area, find shelter, so they themselves don't have to get affected by the lag issues here that we've been dealing with. And the lag storms that have been brewing here these last couple of weeks, it seems like they've just been getting worse, at least from what I've experienced here. The Sunday night league that I was racing in, the Late Night Racing Xfinity League, we had to restart our race like 5 times or something. And I ended up lagging out in the final stage with 2 laps to go, a race that I had almost won. And we're getting the invite here. I told these guys they can just go ahead and send it and just get themselves in their starting positions, and I'll just figure out where they are from there. So I will give you guys the starting lineup during their pace lap so these guys can get in their respective starting positions. And I think... Oh, they paused it. Not quite ready to go yet. This would be a surprise. Even for me, because there's a couple of guys in this field that I'm not even sure who they are. I know Johnny Boy, he's been racing with him. I know he was going to be running this race since last night. We actually got another driver. I know this one. If he is racing tonight, if I can frickin' find him. What car is he? I think he was over here. Yep, there he is. Number 17. He's not in there yet. Actually, let me do the, we got another guy in here. So this is number 19, Go Blue Tater. Was just added in, what, about like 10 minutes ago. This is as late of an entry as it gets, folks. Y'all can send it.
Don't send it. We got to create another lobby. He's got to put his own caution zone.
10-4. Sit tight, folks. We're still dealing with technical issues here. Gotta make sure the lobby's set up just about right. Make sure all it meets all of the specifications that it needs to meet here. So yeah, Go Blue Tater. He is in the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota, or the Auto Trader car, or the Auto Owner's Insurance car. Not Auto Trader. That's Penske. He'll be in one of these two. Or maybe there's another. He'll be in one of the DLC cars that I don't have, because I never bought a single DLC on this game. That is, our in-race correspondent, MFF Ed, though. I'll be checking in with him, seeing what's going on. He was the one that let us know that they are restarting the lobby. Getting everything under control here. Anyway, back to number 17 here, if I can get him just in time here. To those that watch FRR, Mac Attack is in the race tonight in that number 17 Ford, so be on the lookout for him. Mach 1 Mac FRR racing tonight. And I think we're ready to go.
You can join now, Tim.
I never got an invite, did I? Unless it's public. Yes. So hopefully with the lobby being public, it'll scatter away some of those lag storms away from the radar, away from the track, so we can get a clean green race in, no issues, no interruptions. Alright, here we are. Now I think this will be when the drivers will be lining up here, getting to their starting spots. But from the looks of it, seems like the lag storms haven't quite distanced themselves away from the racetrack quite yet, but we're still going to try to get these guys lined up as quickly as possible so we can get this race in as quickly as possible. So I already gave you at least the front row. So yeah, it is still MJ Ross on the pole with Elvin Priest on his outside in that number 51 car. Then you got Parley in the number 42 in third. Showtime Flash, that number 38 car, in fourth. MFF Kari looks like he is qualified up into the top 5 in that number 2 Alliance Ford. Black Cross and the Liberty Chevrolet, number 24, is in 6th. D-Bat Baseball in 7th. Flux in that 47 car in 8th place. And it looks like this one's waved off. Yep. .22-volt Johnny Boy still out on the racetrack ahead of Go Blue Tater in that number 19 car. Intense battle for the lead. Oh, Johnny Boy's in the grass. Go Blue's falling right down there with him, taking the inside lane, passing the grass. Go Blue is going to get around Johnny Boy for the race lead off of turn 2 and leaving a big cloud of dirt in his wake. That's a massive distraction tactic right there. And it is an absolute battle of adversity as the rest of the garage could even make it past the first lap. Unbelievable. But yeah, that one didn't work. It's going to be one of those nights, folks. One of those nights. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Take 2. Sit tight, folks. Sit tight. Apparently they're still in that lobby. Yeah, now they're leaving. Okay. Well, that was really weird. Apparently all those other 12 cars that you saw in the pits, all of those guys were still on the racetrack. And they all just had a collective despawn on my screen, except for 2 guys. So I thought they were all backing out in unison, starting up a new lobby, and I guess they're doing that now, just not when I thought they were. So, boy. Yeah, now it's gone. And it doesn't seem like they have a new one up yet. If y'all need to take a quick restroom break, now is the time. Dear NASCAR Heat 5, do better. Yeah. The thing is, they don't know how. They don't know how to do better. And that's the thing with this new update. They pumped this thing out here with the intention of doing the absolute bare minimum to meet their contract. Because this company is barely hanging on by a thread. And I'm not talking about 704. I don't even know what. I think they were acquired by Motorsport Games since they're pretty much the ones that hold the license to this. They hold the licensing to NASCAR now, and yep, I see the lobby. Old Johnny Boy is going to be hosting it. So we'll be waiting for them, waiting for the clock to strike 0, and we'll try this again. Yeah, people can wonder with this game finally getting its first update in almost 2 years with the 2022 cars, but we can say, oh, maybe they'll finally release a patch and fix the servers or whatever glitches that need to be patched up, or maybe they'll finally add some new DLCs, but realistically, that's not gonna happen. I can join. Technical difficulties, according to our in-race correspondent. So we will try this once again, and hopefully we can get some racing in. Fanatec, I hope you're loving all of this free advertising that I'm giving you guys here. Because if anyone hasn't bought enough of your stick shifts and pedal sets already, and steering wheel boxes, so, get yourself a Fanatec wheel if you so desire. Personally, I drive a Logitech G29, but that's just me. Alright, so far this one's looking a little better. I'm not seeing any noticeable lag spikes or hops or pops or jiggles or wiggles from anybody in the field so far. We're going about pace car speed here as everyone is getting their starting positions. Everyone is getting lined up to their exact starting spot that they qualified on. So yeah, it is MJ Ross on the pole, Elvin second, Parley third, Flash fourth, Kari fifth, Blackcross in sixth. And it looks like Flux AF will start in 7th, and D-Bat Baseball in 8th. Old Johnny Boy in that number 22 car will start P9, 19mm. In the 12 car, rounding out your top 10. Then it'll be Go Blue Tater, MFF Ed though, and then Mach 1 Mac in that number 17 car. And the green flag waves here at Atlanta. Let's hope it stays green this time by. Looks like we got ourselves a green race here. Track staying clear at the moment. MJ Bross in that number 4 car. Leading Parley and Elvin down the back straightaway as everyone else is trying to get in line. We got MFF car in that number 2 car up into 4th. Flash crab walk in that car way up to the outside lane off of 4. As Mike will be leading that first lap here. Parley peeking to the inside. Here comes 19mm, that number 12 car, biggest mover already from 10th to 4th in 1 lap, ladies and gentlemen. That 12 car, Advanced Auto Parts Ford, is on the move early on. Looks like D-Bat washed up the racetrack there in 3 and 4 as they're jockeying for position further back in the back. Look at how nose to tail these guys are. Now, these guys are running on normal draft. That's what we've been doing for the whole season. There was a lot of talk about whether or not we would go down to low draft because of how strong the draft is on normal, especially at this racetrack. And that could cause some issues with checking up and all that mid-pack, but we put it up to a vote. Actually, no, that was for something else, and I'll get to that later. It was pretty much agreed that we would just keep it on normal since that's what these guys have been running the entire year as 19mm. And Kari, tag team around Elvin, that 51 car. Oh, and 19 gets into the wall right in front of the 2 car. That sends him around down the back straightaway right in front of the field. Multiple cars sliding and crashing into turn 3. Black Cross involved. D-Bet, Baseball, Johnny Boy. Oh, and Go Blue finds himself in it at the very last second. The caution flag is out. Major, major accident early on in this race. And it all started when the number 12 car got tight off corner exit. And it's so easy to get these cars tracking up the racetrack with how strong the draft is. The way these cars behave in dirty air. And these cars can get really tight when they're in that much turbulence. And that's exactly what happened to 19mm. Washed it up the track off of 2. And unfortunately for him and unfortunately for Kari as well, both of those cars were so close together that Kari had about no time to react and found himself right in the eye of the storm as the rest of the field found themselves caught up in the wreck. So top 2 is about the same. 19 still in 3rd, Elvin now in 4th, Showtime Flash in 5th, Hamlin Nation now up in the 6th here as we get back going here for a restart here at Atlanta. They're still side by side, 2 by 2, but everyone's going to try to get single file here because everyone knows just how strong that inside lane is. They can try to get something going here on the outside, but there's not really a whole lot you can do. And look at all this moving here. Look at all the benefactors on the bottom lane here. That 38 of Showtime Flash, the 47 of Flux, and also that one car of Ed, though, also moving up through the pack. Partly on the outside, Elvin, Black Cross, all those guys getting hung out to dry. 19mm up into 2nd. Like I said, I've been talking about him in the pre-race, about him having a very strong car here. He's been very fast at these 1.5 mile racetracks. And it seems like this race might be his. And he's showing it right now if he can try to go for the lead here, but it seems like he might be content staying behind Mike, at least for now, maybe save his tires for a couple of laps. Now I feel like the case for most of these guys here, they're leaning on their right rear tires quite a bit, and especially in the long run, their cars are going to be sliding off corner exit, and those right rears are going to be squealing. So it's all about where you have your pressure set up, where your springs are set up, all that stuff that people that know setups do. I just get my setups from YouTube and other people, so I'm not too knowledgeable about that, but that's what I would imagine it would be. The racing is so close that it's going to be a hard time catching up with all of it. And then you see the 47 car of Flux, who had worked his way up into the top 5, clipped the apron just enough to slide him up the racetrack, and there you see the effect that it has on that number 47 car. Now, he didn't lose too many spots, but look at how tight that thing is getting. Much larger draft now. Look at the 18 car at Hamlin Nation, thought about making a move on Parley. Changed his mind just about, but instead finds himself washing up the racetrack, and Black Cross in the 24 car is going to take advantage of that, get around the 18 car. 18 tucks back in line, and Black Cross will leapfrog up a spot here, and I think that is for 5th place. Hamlin Nation now in 6th, Flux now in 7th, Ed in 8th, D-Bat Baseball in 9th. We got a battle for the 10th spot here. Elvin Priest finding himself a little further back in the running order with Kari as they're both getting around Mac. '18 into the grass down the front stretch. Keep that thing straight. He's going to hang on to it. Everyone's going to have to get around him here. 21 was already running that outside lane here, so the 18 doesn't lose too many spots. As Kari, ooh, they got really close there. Him and D-Bat Baseball. As Kari's going to get the spot here. Now here's a battle between Ed and Flux for position here. This is for 6th, I believe. Yeah, so this number 1 car. One of the biggest movers from the start, MFF Ed, though, in this Monster Energy Chevrolet, up to 6th at the moment. But you see the breakaway, all that floundering around, these top 5 cars have broken away from the rest of this pack here. 19mm still trailing Mike Ross, who is still leading this race here and has pretty much been leading it from the get-go here. Showtime Flash in 3rd, Parley in 4th, Black Cross in the 5th spot, the last car in that 5-car train. And now it's up to MFF Ed, though, to lead this second group back up into the top 5. And let's see if they can get all lined up and work together and run this pack down. So behind Ed, you got Hamlination, that pedigree car. Kari getting a little loose off 4. Gets himself out of line, but he tucks himself right back in. Elvin was nice enough to let him back in. He knows the deal. Elvin trying to stick with the plan here, that number 51 car. In this second pack, Flux and Mac Attack working together here. And it looks like the 18 is going to try to lead the way, as he believes he might have the faster car to pull this train. Ed's going to tuck himself back in line right in front of the 17 car of Mac. Now, it looks like top 5 still hasn't changed here. So here's D-Bat Baseball and this number 21 Ford. Starting to lose touch with that 17's rear bumper, as he finds himself running outside of the top 10. That second pack is a pack of 6. He's starting to reel him back in here. And this is just how strong the draft is at normal here at Atlanta. You see the 21 gain so much time to the middle of 3 and 4, and he is closing back in on Mac, but he carried just a little too much. That nose, losing the nose once again and washing him up the track. But it also shows just how, with how tight those packs are, it shows how much those guys towards the back of the group are checking up because of how strong the draft is. Now Mac, oh, he gets into the wall there off of 4, but Mac Attack there, or Mach 1 Max is his name now. Now Mac, he was checking up for the cars in front of him because he's getting just about as strong of a draft as D-Bat is, but he is so much closer that he can't afford to get into the back of Ed and send him up the racetrack. Now those two already got out of shape and are starting to fade back a little. And they need to close back up on that 47. And now let's get back to this top 5 here. Not much else has really changed. Nothing's really changed here. Still the same top 5. Mike leading 19mm. Flash, Parley, and Black Cross. Now we got cars towards the back here. Go Blue Tater in the number 19 car, all by his lonesome at the moment. He's looking to get himself back in this race, hopefully with a caution, or maybe make some time up on the pit stop here. Another car working with D-Bat towards the back, and that's old Johnny Boy. These two cars working in tango outside of the top 10. Now this Red Apple with MJ Bros still leading the field here. And I think these guys are pretty content to ride around. No reason to get too racy at this point in the stage. We are expecting at least one pit stop under green here, so the question will be, will all 5 of these guys be pitting at the same time, or will someone be a double agent, turn on these guys and maybe go for the undercut? And if so, which one will it be? Or maybe 2 of them, if so. One nine entered a little bit lower that time, but doesn't quite seem to be in much of a hurry to go anywhere. Now I saw a car pitting, and that's what guys in the second pack are doing. Now Hamlination is in. Ed, though, Mac, D-Bat are going to try to take advantage of the fresher rubber here. close in on this front pack. The front pack's noticing that now. Second group here. So who's going to be the lone soldier to pit? Parley cared a little too much. And they're going to enter 3 wide onto pit road, and I think all of them should be okay. We'll have to check back in with the speeding police to see who got caught. And to answer the question of who went alone, and it's Showtime Flash. He just might have his car be willing to stretch it as far as he can get it to go. Question is, will he be pitting this time? There's the 2 car of Kari. Flash still not pitting yet. As we'll look at the race off pit road. We'll see who comes out ahead, who comes out behind. And it looks like everyone seems to be in order here. It's still Mike ahead of 1-9. Then Parley, Black Cross, Elvin. Flash still not pitting yet. There's Johnny Boy coming out. Hamlin Nation pitted early. Now here's Ed and Mac. Kari's in on pit road now. So he's pitting a lap later than the leaders. As the 19 swings wide, he might be having an ill-handling race car. Look at that thing squirm and slide off of turn 4. He is trying to hang on to it now. I'm not sure if he had pitted yet. He could be trying to stretch it as far as he can go. Because it seemed like he might be on old tires now. That 5-car breakaway is now down to 4. There's Flux, there's D-Bat. Where is the 38? There he is, on pit road now. The last car to pit, presumably, at least amongst the leaders. He was part of that 5-car breakaway. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. So the 38's coming out of the pits now. Pitting 2 to 3 laps later than the rest of the leaders. And we'll see where this 38 car cycles out. There's the pack. There's Flash. Still down on the apron. Nowhere up to speed. He's going to merge up now. He's still going to get passed by the 51 and most likely the 18 as well. He's going to still stay low here. Once those tires get heated up there, and he builds up those air pressures, he should be able to pull away from this 18 car. But now that 18 car, on the other hand, he now has somebody to work with. Even if it won't be for long because of how much pressure that rubber is on that number 38 Ford. But that should help the 18 at least a little bit. Help close in on that 51. Now let's get back to the front pack here. Black Cross seems to have gotten ahead of the 42 of Parley. And we should have another pit stop. This first stage is actually pretty lengthy. Looking at the numbers here, and even Showtime Flash, who had been the last car to pit, he's not safe on fuel, so these guys will definitely be pitting a second time. So this is a long first stage. Flash in that 38 car, closing in on the 51 car of Elvin Priest. Elvin running in the 5th spot at the moment. Flash on that fresh set of rubber, closing in fast, ducking down to the inside. Elvin's gonna give the lane to him. He knows what he's got. He's not going to waste any time here. He's going to let the 38 go by. And Showtime Flash cracks the top 5 during this run. As he is now a bit behind the 8 ball here, with pitting that much later than the rest of the pack. Here's the 19 of Go Blue. He's down to the apron, getting out of the way of the leaders. And here's the 1, the 17, the 22. Now I saw the 2 car, another car that pitted late, is Kari. Here he is. And I believe he is currently scored in... Ed is running 9th, so Kari, being ahead of him, is in 8th position at the moment. But look at how far behind he is from the rest of this pack. So that pitting late strategy, worth a shot early on, but it doesn't really seem to have helped them all that much at the moment. Elvin working with Flash to catch that top 4. Lap car up ahead, that number 19. There's the 47 of Flux in danger of going a lap down. We saw him in the top 5 early on in the green. All by himself with no one to work with. He seems to be a bit off on the bounce of that race car. I know he's pitting this time. Oh, but he loses traction onto the apron. That is a tough transition, guys. This is probably one of the... as far as 1.5 miles go, this is a very tough track to make pit stops on. Ed, though, also going for the undercut. But Ed was on the lead lap, at least in the 9th position, somewhere around there. But Flux was in danger to go a lap down before the pit stop, so we'll see where that puts him. That one car, there's the 17, no, the 21's coming in though. So he's in, 47's in. Where is the one car? He is in right now. Looking at his fuel numbers, he is 1 lap to the good on this pit stop. So that should be it for the rest of the stage, and everyone else who's stretching it further will definitely be good enough to make it. So it's still Mike Ross out in front, ahead of 19mm in that number 12. Black Cross in the number 24 car in 3rd, Parley in 4th. Showtime Flash, we saw him in the top 5. Let's see if he's gaining any ground on these guys. Not really, actually. In fact, he hasn't even gained any time on that 19 car either of Go Blue, who is a lap down at the moment. Flash with about 8 laps of fuel left. And his tires are wearing pretty quickly too. So that's something to these guys are gonna be looking out for. This track very hard on tires, especially on that right rear, like I said earlier. You push that thing to its limits. Flash doing the opposite this time, pitting early. Interesting strategy for Showtime Flash. First part of the run stretched out the longest. This time he's pitting early on the second stop. Now, what does the rest of the pack do? They're signaling now. Looks like all 4 of them are coming at the same time. Let's get to it. Here's Mike 19, all distancing themselves here. 19 trying to see if he can make a pass, and he gets hit from behind. Loop it around, loop it around. Come on. He's got it. Oh, and that's going to cost him so much time. Oh, and he's underneath the 2 car. The 2 car of MFF Kari gets pile driven into on pit road. Get off of him. What are you doing? Kari and Elvin are, or Parley and Elvin are sideways. What is going on? This game, I swear. So here's Flash coming out. Looking to get the leapfrog on the top 4. Very interesting strategy call here. Try to maximize stage points if possible. What's up, Raider Mike? Hope you're enjoying the stream here. Look, here's old Johnny Boy racing tonight. One of our guys is in this race. How about that? as he's coming out of the pits with Kari in 1-9, the Penske trio. And Johnny Boy looks like he gained quite a bit of time here. I know, that was very strange, very unusual. Only on NASCAR Heat where you see something like that happen. So yeah, we got a pass here for position between old Johnny Boy and Kari here. Johnny sending it up on the inside. Looks like Kari's going to let him have the spot. Now here comes that number 17. Got a big run through 1 and 2. Now here's 19mm. Another pit road mishap, biting him in the ass once again. But good news for him, it's only the first stage. And if he's thinking big picture, nothing to really worry about here. The last thing you can really afford to do is get impatient. Just need to maximize what you got now, make it to the end of the stage, regroup, and work your way from there. He's got a train behind him, Ed, in that one car. Checked up in front of that line. Everyone, including that 22 of Johnny. Look, they all tried to swing wide to get around that one car. They're side by side, 2 by 2. Ed's washing up again. Matt goes to the inside. Hang on to it, Ed. Oh, I think he might have looped it around, and he does. He hits Mac. And the 17 car goes around on the back straightaway. Look out, Flash. Look out, rest of the field here. As he straightens it back out. That was a close call. If you're watching Showtime Flash's live stream here, I'll include it once I get into the highlights for sure, because that was a close call. And let's get to something that isn't close. Mike's lead has now extended tremendously over Parley and Blackcross. Blackcross now up to second. Mike's closest competition was 19mm. And with that pit road mishap, finds himself pretty much out of the picture for this stage win. With only a few laps to go, we could see Mike RPM getting his 8th stage win of the year. And those stage points, man, they can go a long way, and he's taking full advantage of those. He's pretty much been the go-to guy when it comes to stage 1 points. Only has 1 win on the year, but he can close this one out, man. I'm telling you. Definitely go a long way once we get around to playoff time in a couple weeks. Battle for second between Blackcross and Parley. Parley in the 42. Blackcross on the outside. He sees the 42 in his mirror. He's going to let him have the bottom here. And there's really not a whole lot Blackcross can really do because that bottom lane is just so strong. He can try to carry as much speed as he wants through that middle lane. He can try to side draft, and you can see he's still sticking with him. You can't let that 42 car have too much room off corner exit. Oh, and just look at how close those two are going to get here. He hardly gives him any room, but now he opens it up wide for the 42 of Parley. Who's going to get by for the second spot. Elvin right behind these two in 4th, closing in fast. But not enough time, as that will be the end of the first stage. And for the 8th time this season, Mike Bross will win a stage. As he will close out stage 1 ahead of Parley and Blackcross. Elvin. Hamlin Nation in 5th, Kari 6th, 19mm falls to 7th place. D-Bat Baseball in 8th, Old Johnny Boy in 9th. And MFF Ed, though, the last spot in 10th. Showtime Flash, 11th place. No stage points for the number 38 car. Mac Attack in 12th. Last car on the lead lap, Flux AF, will be the lucky dog. That number 47 car in 13th place will get his lap back for the second stage. Go Blue Tater, the number 19 car, in 14th, 2 laps down. I don't see any changes in position here. Under the stage break, it looks pretty much the same here. It is still MJ Bros, the control car in this restart. Parley gonna tuck back in line as quickly as possible. He knows how powerful that bottom lane is. And we're ready to go racing here for the second stage here at Atlanta. Hamlin Nation working with that 24 of Black Cross. Down the back straightaway, trying to get around that 51 car of Elvin, who's getting hung out to dry. 24 pushes a little wide. 18 even further wide. Let's get to that 12 car. Let's see if he can fight his way up to the front. So Hamlin Nation up into the 4th spot, pushing wide off of 2. Here comes 1-9. Down to the inside. Elvin's got a big help from D-Bat Baseball and Johnny Boy. Meanwhile, he got 2 Penske cars up on the bottom. 18 running high, running wide. Hang on to it, boys. Hang on to it. Elvin almost got really out of shape. There was 3 wide middle. Boots scoots and boogies his way down there to the inside lane. And scoot on by that 18 car. As look at all these other cars that are making up ground on the bottom, including that 38. In as well. Making up time, making up ground. 19mm back up to 4th. Let's see what he can do here in this second stage. 18 of Hamlin Nation, that 47 of Flux getting hung out on the outside. They're trying to get around the 22 of Johnny Boy. Now Mike and Parley look like they're getting themselves a bit of distance here on Black Cross. But Black Cross has much more cast support here. That second pack there getting a little disorganized. They need to get lined up if they want to stay in this thing. That is Black Cross and that Liberty car in 3rd, 19mm in 4th. Battle for 5th between Showtime Flash and Kari. Elvin's going to go with Flash. That 2 car is going to get hung out on the outside into 3. No choice but to yield those 2 spots and tuck back in line. He does so, but he might have did it a little bit late. Look at that amount of gap he's left behind. He needs to close that in. Elvin's swerving up to the middle here. Now these guys trying to keep their cars as low to the bottom as possible. We got 1 car down there on the inside. And I think that's Ed trying to make a pass on Johnny Boy for position. Johnny Boy's going to try to go for the side draft on the front stretch. Ed's just trying to get a hold of that 2 car's front bumper, or that rear bumper I should say. Ed's going to wash up. He seems like he's having a hard time keeping that car down to the bottom. It just won't stay stuck down there. He's going to need a little bit more glue. Keep that thing stuck down on that inside lane. Got 2 packs. Kari's just right there in the middle all by himself. As Johnny Boy is going to get hung out on the outside this time by. And it'll be D-Bat, Flux, and Mach 1 Mac ganging up on that 22 car. Now, what does the 22 do? Is he going to try to squeeze himself in there in between, or is he going to drop to the very back here? I don't think he's going to try to fight it too hard here. He's just going to drop to the back right behind the 17, and yep, that's what he's going to do. Goes to the outside. He saw the checkup from the 17 car of Mac. And that fastened all forward. Back to the front. Black Cross close back in on the 42 of Parley. Flash right behind him in that 38, 19mm. Elvin Priest also there. As we once again have, actually this is a 6-car pack this time. This is a 6-pack up at the front. Ed and Hamlin Nation working together. They're trying their best to work together. Hamlin gonna get hung out here. Got to the bumper of the one, had to check up, and as you see how opportunistic this rest of the pack is, the one car getting tight again goes to the outside. D-Bat Baseball, and that 21 is gonna go right by. 47 of Flux also in tow. One's forcing it through, trying to get himself back in line. He does not want to go all the way to the back. He's going to clear the 17 right there. 17 getting out of shape. 18 also clipping the grass a little bit off of 4. As he's leaving a little bit of a gap between him and Johnny. Now here's D-Bat Baseball in that 21 Ford closing in on the 2. They're right within drafting distance. They should be able to close in on him. Now it's going to be... They have 2 options here. Do they just close in on the 2 car and just push him and let him lead? Or are they just going to do what, honestly, what they're doing already, and that's racing each other? And try to decide who's going to be the lead car, since no one seems to be able to do that. And that's the hard thing about working together, is that the cars behind always feel like there's going to be times where they feel like they're being held up. And once the car in front slips up, they see that as an opportunity to get make a pass. Because they think, hey, I got a faster car, I'm going to be leading this pack here. I think if I lead, we will be going a lot faster than we would be right now. And it just becomes an endless cycle. D-Bat into the wall, off 2, slides down the track, straightens it back out. What a save. Merge it back up, and he's good to go. He's going to lose the pack. The 18's going to pit early. And a tough break for D-Bat Baseball, who keeps the car going straight, but loses a lot of time. He's going to lose even more now that he has no drafting support. Man, just look at that gap. Mike's been doing a really good job managing these guys here. It's like leading a pack like this at a track like Atlanta is kind of like being a lion tamer in a way. You got all these hungry beasts right behind you, ready to eat your flesh, and you got to keep them all in check. One slip up, and they bite your arm off. Now, interesting enough, you see the 38 of Flash sliding up, and there's why. The 24 signaled early. The 24 of Black Cross is going to separate himself from the rest of the herd. He's flying solo tonight, boys. He's pitting early. Other cars on pit road, I think that's the 19. There's the 21, D-Bat. Looks like he pitted earlier. He's coming out now. Harley exiting low. Looks like Flash is going to make a pass on the outside. 1-9 getting a big shunt from Elvin in that kink on the front stretch here, that dog leg. And you see the leaders signaling now. I think Flash is going to stretch this one out here. Is anyone going to try to do what Flash does? It'll be Elvin. As those 3 surrender the lead, Elvin's going to try to stick with the 38 and see how far he can go. As the 4 and the 42 as well as the 12 all pit together, the 12 car having a much smoother pit entry this time. Now Flash has about 2 to 3 laps of fuel left. His right front's getting close to about 10%, so I would imagine he's going to be pitting about this time. I think the 51 car of Elvin might have pitted here. There's Kari. Johnny Boy's in the pits now. There's Elvin. That's about as far as he could go. As the 38 gets about a lap on him, now Elvin will have him beat off exit since he pitted a lap sooner. The 38's coming in now. Getting all the way down to 45 miles an hour. Right at that line there. Maximize the amount of speed you can on pit entry without hitting those red lights going too fast. As these guys still battling each other even after the pit stop. D-Bat getting around Mac in that 17 Ford. He's got the 2 and the 18 was the earliest car to pit amongst the field here, so not sure exactly where he is cycled out. Now here's the 12 car, where he is, there he is. Right behind Elvin. Now here's Flash, last car to pit, and here come the leaders. And the leader is Black Cross, ladies and gentlemen. New leader, the 24, cycles out ahead of the 4 car of Mike. Some point in that cycle, I don't know if he had him beat. I don't know if he had him beat on the pit stop or what, or if this happened after the fact, but either way, ladies and gentlemen, the 24 is now the leader. How about that? And now we get to see what Mike and his race car can do from the other end of the spectrum. Now he is behind the 8 ball. Let's see what he can do in the draft. He's been the benefactor of clean air all race long, but now he's got, see that? He's pushing up. He's now learning what his car is handling like in dirty air. And he's going to have to make that adjustment mid-run as he is closing in fast on that 24 now. Now, the 24, going to get passed by Mike here. The 24 pitted a lap or so earlier. Got the undercut on Mike, and Mike with those fresh rubbers going to get back around and reclaim the race lead. As Flash and Elvin are working together here, running 3rd and 4th. That's what I was like, the 24 got it out ahead. How did he do that? Well, it's because he short pitted. Obviously. If I was a professional, I would have known that, but I'm not. They're stuck with me, unfortunately. Now, here's a battle further back. It seems like this has pretty much been where all the action has been. MFF Ed, though, in that 1 car is currently running in the 7th position. So that'll be D-Bat 8th, Flux 9th, Mac 10th, Hamlin 11th, if I'm not mistaken. And they got a car out in the distance there. I want to say that's MFF Kari, stuck all by his lonesome once again in that number 2 car in the 6th spot. 19mm in the top 5, but he's got a distance, big distance, on the cars he wishes he was racing with at the moment. There's not really a whole lot that 12 car can really do because he is all by himself. He's losing the benefits that these guys have. Now let's see how Black Cross's car behaves on those slightly older tires in the draft. And they don't really seem to be affecting him too much at the moment. Even with how strong this draft is, you're still wearing the heck out of those tires when you're having such big of a run in the middle of the turn. Those tires don't like getting pushed that far. These guys having to set up for that. They know how strong the draft is. They had to make those adjustments to where their cars can handle it. And they get their tires to go about as far as they can. Black Cross peeking the nose out. Didn't really have anything there. Flash and Elvin don't really seem to be in much of a hurry to make any sort of move. I think we still have another pit stop in this stage. Yeah, 22 laps to go. Flash with about 11 laps of fuel in the tank left, so there's definitely going to be one more pit stop. Battle for second into turn 3, 38 to the inside with the 51 right in his mirror. 24 is going to have to wash up the racetrack, tucks back in line as quickly as he could, makes a little bit of contact with the 51, but all is well. 38 up to second. Now and watch the 24 runs in the 4th spot. Let's see if he can hang on here. There's the 19 of Go Blue Tater on pit road. He's about at least a lap behind. So Mike is still the leader. Hamlin Nation, last time we looked, we saw him towards the back of that group, and now he is up towards the front of it. The battle for 7th place is still heating up here, and I think he might be waving off this time by. Everyone's gonna sweep to the outside, get around the 18 car. 18's gonna get this thing slowed down here and get his service once more for the 2nd stage. Try to make it to the end. Now there's the 24 again. Now here's Parley, who actually now finds himself in the 2nd pack, battling for that 7th spot with D-Bat Baseball. Parley running in 8th place. Something that, I don't know how I managed to let this fly under my radar, but somehow the 42 has found himself all the way back here. No, I don't know if it was a pit road miscue. If it was a speeding penalty, I think he would be even further back than that, unless he is a lap down car, which I'm not sure that he is. I don't think so. D-Bat's coming in this time. There's a whole sea of blue right in front of that monster car. Black and green looking to go to the inside of Mac. Mac's going to shut the door on him here. He took a wide arc in the entry of 1, swoops it down, stays low. I think he's signaling he might be coming in this time. D-Bat's in, 19's still out there. Here's the race out at the front. Where is the 24 of Black Cross? Johnny Boy is on pit road now. Here's Black Cross, your 4th place runner, continuing to take advantage of the short pit here, as he's going to come out this time. There's Elvin, right behind Mike and Flash, 1st and 2nd 51 car burning in the 3rd spot. As we got ourselves a 3-car breakaway, battle for the lead down the front stretch into turn 1. With a big run down the front, and it's the 38 of Flash is going to get around Mike, and he's going to take Elvin Priest with him. Now what does the 4 car do? He's going to come in. And I figured so, with Black Cross pitting as early as he did. And yep, Mike is pitting this time by. Seems to get it loaded down enough with straddling that line. 19's in, Kari in, they're both coming in together. Parley and Flux coming together. Flux actually got around Parley on pit entry. Now, will that stand? Or did he get caught by the speeding police? So, it is Flash and Elvin running 1st and 2nd. And they got a whole sea of lap cars right in front of them. But they shouldn't have to worry, because they should be pitting about at least a lap or 2 from now. Here's the 24. 4 cars coming out now. Here's the 12 car with the 2. And you see Black Cross already up to speed, taking advantage of the undercut. He's going to cycle back out ahead. And let's check in on the other battle here. Yep. Flux did beat Parley on pit entry, but the 42 pit crew prevails and sends him back out ahead of the 47. So he holds on for that spot. And here are our leaders, surrendering the lead. Elvin and Flash pitting together. Flux and Parley working together. Here's the 24. And here's the 4. Look at the distance Black Cross has gained on Mike. As I believe we have about... I'll have to check back in with the lap count. There's Flash, there's Elvin. Getting their cars up to speed as they merge back up onto the racing surface. Mike is gonna tuck in behind the 38 car and work with him. So we'll be keeping an eye on this group here. Will they be able to run that 24 car down? They have the advantage on rubber and in draft. It's a 3-car draft here. Working together, closing in on Black Cross, who's all by his lonesome on 2-lap older tires. With, as I cross the line this time by, I'm gonna have to get a lap count here. So they crossed the line that time. It was 10 laps to go. 10 to go. For these guys to run down the 24 and fight it out for the stage win. This is for the second stage. So 10 to go in stage 2. Black Cross is the leader in that 24. But you see just how much time this trio has gained on our leader. Down the backstretch, and I think this next straightaway, that 38 will have a sniff of that 24's draft. Gets in on his slipstream, and look at that pole. Away from the 4-car and onto the 24, way down to the inside, even into the grass, sends it in really tight into 1. Makes a bit of door contact with Black Cross, forces him up the racetrack. And they'll all be able to get around him here. As short pitting doesn't really quite pay off for the 24. As he will settle in for the 4th spot. And even if he loses the draft here, he should be able to hang on to the 4th spot. So running in 5th, who's in 5th right now? So Parley, Flux, Hamlin Nation all working together. D-Bat right behind in tow. I believe this will be the battle for 5th between Kari and 19. The 2 Penske Fords running 5th and 6th, nose to tail at the moment. That orange car in the distance is a lap down. At the very least, that's Go Blue Tater. And that number 19 Toyota. So here's Flash. In the race lead, Elvin Priest in 2nd, Mike RPM in 3rd. Black Cross still hanging on to that draft in the 4th spot. And they're slowed it down. I think the caution is out. The caution flag is out. What exactly happened here? I will say, the 12 car is now back in 9th place. I wonder if he was a part of that caution. Was not expecting that. So this will be a dash for the stage 2 win. Elvin Priest beats out the 38 on pit road under this caution break, and he will be the control car this time by For the restart, the 51 up through the gears, and the green flag waves. And the 38's going to tuck back in line here. Mike in third, Black Cross, Kari up into the top 5. As we have ourselves... It didn't show, damn it. I guess we'll have to figure this out. I have no idea how many laps left we have. And look at this. Everyone protecting the bottom lane as much as they can, while the 18's getting hung out to dry. A lot of scattering further back. The 1 car gets out of shape. Two car dancing up the racetrack gets it back down. The 38 car's peeking his nose down to the inside lane, way down, even further down than the 51 anticipated. But he's trying to protect it as much as he can. 4 car Mike still up in the 3rd spot, holding off Black Cross. 51 washing it way up the racetrack. Kari trying to go for 4th. Elvin goes through the infield, up into Showtime Flash. Mike goes around. And that was for the stage finish. The stage 2 win. Elvin Priest hangs on to it and gets the stage 2 win. That 51 car holds off the 38. The 4 car of MJ Bros 3rd, Black Cross in 4th, and MFF Kari, your top 5. Then Flux AF in 6th, DBAT Baseball 7th, 19mm 8th, Parley 9th, and the last stage point goes to old Johnny Boy in that number 22. And look at this. Speaking of old Johnny Boy, a little bit of strategy here, perhaps. As old Johnny Boy is going to be the control car here. And it looks like it might be a miscue for old Johnny Boy, as he's going to pull to the side and let these guys go. And that will cycle the lead to Showtime Flash. Mike Ross in 2nd, trying to block the 47 of Flux, who's up to 3rd place. Trying to go for 2nd down the backstretch on this restart. That 47 car is on the charge. How about that? Getting ahead of the 24, the 51, the 2. 38 swings wide. 47 up to 2nd place down the front stretch and going for the lead here at Atlanta into turn 1. 51 and the 24 side by side. Door to door down the backstretch, right in front of the 2 car, 12 car of 19mm right behind him. Now Flux AF, what's he going to be able to do here in the draft of this number 4 machine? Going for the lead and holding off the 38 of Flash and the 51 of Elvin. What are those guys going to do? They're going to learn how that 47 car handles up at the front. They've been working with each other all day, but we threw a new player into the ring. That could make things very, very interesting here in this final stage. Plenty of racing to go here. The 2 car going to the outside. Stays in front of the 12. The 42 car, the last car in that draft. Flash, eager to get around the 47 car for 2nd. It's going to leave him hung out to dry. And look at everybody else go right with him. Big checkup from the 2. Onto the 12, the 42. And that's going to allow Flux to tuck himself in line and not lose too many spots. He's going to need that car to stay hooked to the bottom. He's trying, but it seems like he's struggling to do that. That car continuing to crab walk up the banking. And both Kari and 19 are going to work together and get right around him. Oh, 19 up the racetrack, up into Flux. Parley's going to get around him here. In that number 42 car, way down to the inside, all the way down to the yellow paint into turn 3. They need to figure this out. They're starting to lose draft here. That 2 car of Kari is now in this group. And it was unfortunate for the 22 car of old Johnny Boy. I think he might have had a bit of a miscue during the stage break. Forgot to hit the X button, the old X button, to get himself onto pit road. And I thought he was doing himself some out of the box thinking strategy to get himself out of the front. I actually got very excited to see that. But unfortunately that was not the case. Johnny Boy tried to get those tires about as far as he could go. And he'll be pitting this time by, so we'll see how his race goes in this final stage. We'll see how far that 22 car can get to the end of the race. 2 car of Kari starting to lose touch of that 24's rear bumper. Looks like we will be seeing yet another 4-car breakaway. Let's get to the 42 of Parley. He's got himself a bit of a hole to dig himself out of. Same with the 12. We thought those two would be front runners here at this point in the race, but they find themselves a little bit further back in the running order than they would have anticipated. And now it's up to them to make up that lost ground. Harley working with Flux here in that 47 car. Had himself a great restart. Fired off really well. But it seems like that car is just struggling with the tight condition here. You see it wash up the track again. He's going to have to free that thing up even more if he wants to stay in this battle. 12 car down onto the apron, trying to hang on to it. So top 4, 5, about the same. It looks like the 2 car of Kari. He's still got a whiff of that draft of Black Cross. He just closed back in on it, and seems like he's losing it a bit again. He needs to keep that thing down there, because if he lets that draft carry his car all the way through, it's just going to push him up the banking and force his car to get really tight. He's going to burn that right front off in an instant, so he needs to keep an eye on that. But I think he's got it down now. He should be fine. So MFF Kari trying to make up for the lost opportunity he had last week at Gateway. Looked like he had a top 5 car last week. Mechanical woes took him out of that race early. And he's been running top 5, top 6 most of the day today. So far in the final stage, that car is still hanging in there. So we'll see if he will have a shot at it here. Seems like the mechanical gremlins have gone away for the 2 car. So they have gapped themselves from the 42. Here's the 17 and the 1. Still Mike Bross ahead of Showtime Flash. Elvin Priest in the 3rd spot. Black Cross in 4th. About the same old song and dance up here at the front. Not really a whole lot changed so far. Harley sinking back to the 18's front bumper at Hamlin Nation. Let's get to him here for a second. Leading that pack of Flux, D-Bat 19mm, getting passed by the 21 car. So they're closing in on that 42. They need to work together. It seems like every single one of these restarts, minus the 2-lap dash for the stage, we have been seeing these cars be able to break away from each other. We haven't been seeing the massive packs that we thought we would expect. And I mean, not really too much of a surprise with how much of a one-lane racetrack this is. At least with most other mile and a halves, you have other places you can really go. But when everyone's trying to go for the exact same piece of real estate and one guy screws up, that bunches everybody else up. And you saw it right there, the 47-21 car. 47 got close with the 12. He's going to have to drop back in behind him. 42 and 18 now working together. And let's see if the 21 can close in. Now, Black Cross might have had himself a bit of a... He's distancing himself from that 51. Now that could be a bit by design. Not sure if he might have missed the corner a little bit. created a gap between himself and the 51, but it looks like, regardless of how it happened, there is a gap. But it's still not that big a deal. He's still got the draft. He's still in touch. Same with the 2. Not really a whole lot else happening here. 24, shallow entry here into 3. Trying to fend off the 2 car, who seems like he's pretty eager to get by him. At 24, keeping that bottom lane protected. The 2 car swung it to the outside, up into the attic and back downstairs. And now the 4 car, either he's getting defensive or he's pitting this time. He's pitting. 4 car, the first car to pit. Mike RPM. Parley's coming in as well. 18's in. Same with the 1. 47, 12, all coming in this time by. Following the leader. And let's see what kind of benefit those cars can gain. 18 car coming out this time. 24 signaling to the 2. He's coming in this time. First pit stop of the final stage. All or nothing here. 2 car making a big gain here. Has to check up to avoid hitting the bumper of the 24. And look at all the time those 2 cars gain in the 51 car. At the corner of my eye, something happened to the 51 of Elvin Priest, and he lets both of those guys by. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Looks like 19 and Flux are coming out together. There's Parley, there's Mike. Merging back onto the racing surface as D-Bat Baseball, who's already up to speed, drives right around them. And it looks like the 38 will maintain the position off pit road ahead of the 24. The 2 and the 51, quite a bit of gap between those 2 cars. And you see all the time that 51 car is gonna lose. And all that time, where is the 4 car? There he is. Working with the 21 car D-Bat Baseball, who might have pitted a lap or so earlier. Went for the undercut, and he just might have got it. D-Bat Baseball, if I'm not mistaken, could be in the 3rd spot for the time being until that 4 car makes the pass on the inside. And he'll have him here. With the tire advantage, will drive right by the 21. But look at all the time he's lost to our leaders of the 38 and the 24 who pitted later. So they're on fresh rubber and somehow managed to get ahead of Mike on this sequence of pit stops. That is interesting. Now here's the 2 of Kari, who is in the 5th spot. The 42 of Parley, pitting early with the 4 car. Mike is actually working with him now, so he gained a lot of time on this sequence and finds himself back up in the top 5 in 4th. Since neither of the streams that I am watching are giving me a running order, I'm just going to have to go off reference here. So the 1 car of MFF Ed, though, is one of my onboards. He is currently scored in the 10th spot. Flux being in 9th. 19mm working with him here in that number 12 car, who is still trying to dig himself out of that hole. Here's the 22 car of old Johnny Boy. Kari closing in on the 42. We'll see if this trio can work together and run these leaders down. 12 wheels better than 8, 3 cars better than 2. We know how strong the draft is with more cars in it. That effect might be coming into play. What's the 4 car doing? Swinging low to the inside. He's actually going to let these guys go. Was that a signal? Because he just pitted. Yeah, he's actually going to stay behind these guys. So MJ Bras back into 5th place here. As Parley and Kari, 3rd and 4th, are going to try to work together and run down Showtime Flash and Black Cross, are 1 and 2 runners here at Atlanta. Now, where is the 51 car of Elvin Priest, who had a bit of a rough stop on that sequence of pit stops here? He is trying to bringing up the point situation here. Elvin Priest coming into this race as the regular season points leader, only 8 points ahead of Mike Ross. Mike being the winner of stage 1. Elvin Priest got the stage win in stage 2, so that's a good clunk of points. Good clump of points to gather up here and collect and put in his back pocket. Help keep that gap as is and help grow on it potentially. But he finds himself a little further back than he would like. But it seems like he's got a group of guys that are working really well with him. As Kari gets passed by the 42 and the 4. He'll fall back here, and that'll allow the 51 to get a reach of his draft and pull himself back into it. Now this could also be by design too, because with this pack they could be much faster than the leaders. But how much time can they really gain? I mean, not really a whole lot. You see the gap between the top 2. Not missing a whole lot here. As Elvin closes in on the 2 of Kari, separates himself from the 21 of D-Bat Baseball. He's got a run on the 2 car, squeaks his way through on the inside, forces his way through the bottom and gets on through. And that'll put him back into the top 5, I believe. Because I think that is the 5th spot. He's going for more. Set up a pass on Mike. And nothing there. Hamlin Nation getting around the 21. So if you're just tuning in, this is your top 2 at the moment. Showtime Flash 9. That black and orange number 38 is your race leader. He's looking to go for his 4th win of the season. Black Cross in that number 24 car, looking to get himself back in the top 5 here. As the cars are slowing down, we have another caution. I think the 1 car might have lost control here. Something happened. He got up into the wall right in front of the 12. So we have ourselves a caution. And that is going to throw a massive wrench into everyone's strategy as far as making it to the end. Now there's 25 laps to go. At the moment, I don't know how many they're going to have taking the green. Ed and 1-9 were running in 10th and 11th. As they come out on the pit stops, Parley is going to leapfrog ahead of Black Cross for 2nd, and he'll start on the front row as we get him back going here. Parley taking the advantage here to get back down to the bottom if possible. Mike's trying to do the same on Kari. That's for 4th. Elvin not quick enough. He's stranded up at the top lane here. Mach 1 Matt getting up into the wall in that 17 car. Now it's up to Flash to hold this entire pack at bay. Keep all of those hungry hounds right behind him. Two-car crab walking it up a little bit here. the 51. One car up into the wall. Up at the very top off of 2. As everyone drives right by him, we should be able to stay green. Oh, Kari slips up. 18 takes advantage of it. 18 up into the top 5. And here comes the freight train. DBAT Baseball looking to make a move on the 18. Nothing quite there. Big enough run. The 38 washes it up high. So does the 24, the 42. What is this? They're 3 wide on the front stretch. They're getting together. Hang on to it. Elvin goes for... Oh, he hangs on to it. That was a really close call there. As we saw a couple of cars up at the front wash up the racetrack. And what turned into a freight train actually turned into a 3-wide battle mid-pack. And a near accident almost occurred in turn 1, but everyone gathers it back up and tucks back in line. 47 of Flux, still struggling to keep that car pinned down. It's checking that whole lineup. You saw the 2 and the 51 get together in response. Here comes that 12 car. Don't count him out. Don't count out that 51 either. The 24 car of Black Cross, who was running up in the top 2 before the caution, loses quite a bit of time here. So Black Cross, who was running in second for the caution, I'm not sure exactly what happened to him here. There was a whole lot going on this restart, but we find himself running in the 9th spot now. MFF Kari also slid back. He is now in 10th. But now we're getting down to crunch time. The racing here up the front, much closer. It's still Showtime Flash though. As the leader, 51, ran up the track by the 47. It's the calm before the storm. Oh, big checkup. Big checkup here. Elvin makes the pass on the 47, and now the 21 DBAT Baseball is going to lose 5th spot to Elvin Priest. I was going to shout out DBAT Baseball finally making it up into the top 5. And that top 5 run short-lived for now, as both him and the 47 drive right by him. Maybe the 12 car as well, as they both go to the outside of the 18. Who's looking to finally break through this season and get a top 5 finish. There's the battle for 3rd, and also the battle for the points lead. Like I said, Elvin comes into this race 8 points ahead of Mike Bross. So the amount of stage points they gather here, as well as where they finish, tallied up at the end, and we'll see where those two come out. We'll see if Mike gains any points on him. Maybe Elvin increases his points lead. We'll be keeping an eye on that. As those two, the guys that are 1 and 2 in the points are running 3 and 4 on the track. Not for long. Mike trying to make a move on Parley for 2nd. And there's Hamlin Nation, that 18 car, hanging on to a top 5 spot, holding off the 47 car of Flux. DBAT and the 21 car trying to get her a good result. So It'll be about 10 to go this time by. 10 laps to go. So we got our front runners here. It looks like Go Blue Tater has retired from this race a little while ago. It's the 19 car, just not quite handling the way he would like. He's packed it up and went home. Here's the 17 of Mac and the 22 car of old Johnny Boy here. Our 3 fill-in drivers for the night, making their season debut at the same time, and all of them experiencing the ups and downs of racing in this league. Johnny Boy, Go Blue, and Mac Attack all learning just how competitive these guys are as they experience a rude awakening. 8 laps to go. D-Bat a little out of line here as 19mm. He's trying to do everything he can to slice and dice his way through this pack. He's running out of time. Parley getting a little out of shape here. 38's starting to build a gap on this entire pack. You see the swerve. He's trying to break that draft up as much as he can, trying to protect that advantage that he has running up at the front. There's Mike and Elvin. D-Bat running in 6th, Flux in 7th. Looks like 21 got around him there. There's Showtime Flash, still the leader. 5 laps of fuel in his tank. Wonder if that's something to be on the lookout for. Yeah, 5 to go. 5 laps. It should be around 4. Showtime Flash might be cutting it close on fuel. Wonder if anyone's on pit road at the moment. 19's lost the draft. The 1 car of Ed's on pit road. 21's coming in. D-Bat Baseball on pit road. He thinks he might not have enough to make it. Oh boy. We could be having ourselves yet another fuel strategy race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 4 car of Mike indicating to the inside, 18 down there with him. Gets up into the 42. That's going to send him up the racetrack there. 3 wide for 2nd place. Black Cross is on pit road. Hamlin Nation up to 2nd place. Scoots right around the 4 and the 42. And Parley's going to lose a ton of spots there. Man, these guys are cutting it really close. The tire light on that 38. He's got a bit of a gap on the 18 of Hamlin Nation. The 4 car of Mike in 3rd, Elvin in 4th. Flux in the top 5 in that 47 car. As they all get around the 21 who comes out on pit road on the apron. The 4 car trying to get around the 18 for 2nd. 18's blocking him. He's blocking him for that 2nd spot. Nothing there. The 18's going to hang on to it. 38 washing up the racetrack. 18 getting very defensive here. Look at that swing and a move here. That 4 car of Mike Bross. This is for 2nd place. And Elvin and Hamlin, this is for 3rd. Elvin's going to get around him on the inside. Hang on to it, Hamlin. Hang on to it. And here it is, these two once again. Just like what we saw at Richmond a couple of weeks ago. Mike's gonna make a move to the inside. There was just nothing there. My apologies, folks. I did not realize that was the last lap. But yeah, Mike Bross with a big move on Hamlin Nation and a massive amount of eagerness to get around him and challenge for the race win. And you saw just how fast that race car was. He closed in fast on the 38 of Showtime Flash. Made a big move to the inside. Nothing that he could really do there. That 38 was able to hang on to it, make it on fuel. The tires were also able to last. And for the 4th time this season, it is Showtime Flash 9 that comes out on top. So that'll give himself yet another victory here. But the battle for the regular season standings, Mike Bross and Elvin Priest, both of them stage winners. Both of them finish on the podium, 2nd and 3rd, with Mike Bross coming out ahead of Elvin. 4th place is Hamlin Nation, his first top 5 of the season. And that'll be his best finish of the season, as well as the 2 of MFF Kari. Another first top 5 of the season. Flux AF finishes in 6th. Parley in 7th. 19mm in 8th. Mach 1 Mac in that number 17 car in 9th. Black Cross in the 24 finishes in 10th place, 1 lap down. And the rest of the finishing results show Old Johnny Boy in the 22 car finishes in 11th place, a lap down. D-Bat Baseball in 12th, 2 laps down. MFF Ed, though, in the number 1 car, 2 down in 13th. Oh, I forgot I'm still in the lobby. Looks like I'm racing Auto Club now, so 1 second. And Go Blue Tater, last minute standby driver here in that number 19 car. Mechanical issue takes him out of the race. He'll be rounding out the field in 14th here, so give me a second here as I wait for this loading screen so I can get the hell out of this race and get to our podium finishers so we can do a proper interview, like a professional. Because that's what we are here. We are professionals. Alright, and we are back for post-race coverage here of the 10th race of the season here in the Phantom Racing League. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Make sure to leave a like on this stream and also subscribe so you tune in every Thursday night. Race at Pocono next week. So let's get to our 3rd place finisher, Elvin Priest. Elvin, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great, bro, man.
Yeah, man. So, 3rd place finish, back on track here with the podium run here. You and Mike been going at it there in the closing laps there, and this is pretty much the battle for the regular season points championship starting to heat up now. Both of you guys each score a stage win, so yeah, just how's that going? How do you think that battle's gonna come on here?
I know Pocono is his best track, and I know New Hampshire is one of mine, so it's gonna be close unless I finish like crap at Pocono. But man, I'm just happy right now, man.
So walk me through your race.
Oh, my race was crazy. So I forget where I even. Oh yeah, 2nd place. That's where I started, and you know, trapped on the outside, couldn't really do nothing, and you know, I fell back to I think like 8th or something like that, and had to climb my way through the pits of hell, dude, and you know, it took some time, and then I started doing the same strategy that Flash was doing, but I couldn't stay out as long as he could because, you know, I don't know what he got for them tires, but those have to be some Hoosiers or something, bro. Because, I don't know, my things are blown.
Yeah, it's wild, and and I've seen it too with practice. I get those runs on those tires, they definitely wear out. It's a very abrasive racetrack, especially on that right rear. So definitely an intense race, and definitely threw a few curveballs with those cautions, with the one late in the second stage as well as the one in the final stage. So what was your reaction when that caution came out? Because that definitely probably wasn't in your plan, was it?
Dude, my reaction was like, oh my goodness, what the hell am I gonna do? I am screwed. And then I was like, hold on. Wait, we got a secret weapon up in here. I look at my shifter. The shifter looks at me. I put that thing right in neutral in the turns. And we were good. And I just had enough to make it to the end. I didn't sputter at all though coming to the line, so it like hit 0, I think, in the middle or a little bit after the middle off of 3 and 4. So
Yeah.
I love my shifter, man. That's the only reason why I got up here. Other than that, I was screwed.
Well, congratulations to you and that precious little shifter of yours for getting another top 5 here tonight.
Hell
A
yeah!
good run. Hell yes, indeed. Now let's turn to our second place finisher, our good friend MJ Bross in that number 4 car. How you doing tonight?
I'm alright.
And it looked like you had it pretty good the start of the race. You were pretty much in control that first stage. And things definitely got shifted around that second stage through pit stops and all that, and all the cautions in between. So just walk me through how your race went.
Yeah, race was pretty fun. Really fast car. Unfortunately in Atlanta when you run out front and set that pace, you kind of get stuck behind unless you're like Flash and you have incredible tire wear. But I had to pit a couple laps before some of them guys in some of the stages, and that's where, well, we somehow won the first. The first one went smooth, but the second one I should have saved my tire wear, and I got behind, and it was just playing catch up from there on. And then Elvin got the opportunity there and won the stage. I think his pit crew got him that, so did need that, but decent race overall, and I think I might have got a couple points on him tonight. Not a whole lot, maybe 1 or 2.
Might have. It was really close. So
Got the pole again, so
yeah,
got
that'll
another one
definitely
there.
help. One extra bonus point for winning the pole. I do want to ask though, with the way the draft is, the track, and we were talking about low versus normal, and the way your car was looking like it was pretty comfortable out in the front, and once you found yourself up in traffic there, middle of second stage, well, the final stage, just how different did the car feel in dirty air?
Um, Not a whole lot different, because the only time I was really in dirty air was when I had. It wasn't even like we were pushing hard, but I mean, definitely had to lift like freaking crazy. I mean, out front you're just running full throttle, and then just like a burp in the corner. So it was definitely a little bit different. I would have loved low. I would have loved to drive away. I mean, or try to drive away on low. But it was a fun race overall, and go on to Pocono next week.
Yeah, a little birdie next to you said that Pocono is apparently your best track. So how's it feeling? What are you thinking heading into Pocono next week?
Pretty good. I got to check to see if there's any kind of foolery with the running long. I mean, I don't think you can really save anything there, fuel strategy. So I think I might be all right. Not get burned on any strategy there, but it'll be a fun race. I'm sure Flash has a pretty good piece there too. So, and if Chase shows up next week, he'll definitely have just as fast car to win there too. So we'll see what happens.
And we will see about that as Mike Bross with another strong podium finish here, finishes second here tonight. And let's get to our man of the hour once again for another back-to-back winning stretch. It's 4th of the season. Showtime Flash, my man, congratulations on the victory once again.
All right, thanks, Timmy.
So that's going good, man. And I already know how you're doing. You got the win, so you must be feeling really good right now. This is your 4th. You got more wins now than everyone else in the Phantom Racing League season. As the most winningest driver in the field, how does it feel?
Oh, I mean, it always feels really good. I mean, Chase obviously wasn't here tonight. I feel like um, he's always the one to beat no matter what if he shows up. But certainly gonna enjoy every win that I do get no matter what. I mean, I still have to outrun Mike and Elvin and Black Cross and all those other guys. So definitely feels just as good.
I gotta ask though, this is regarding points. So how did you do in the first two stages?
Well, the first stage on the second stop, I ended up speeding, so I finished 11th. So,
Oh,
and then I was second in the second stage. But
gotcha.
I mean, it was pretty much a long shot, really. At Gateway, I mean, I pretty much made the choice to not really race for the stages or anything like that. So. I mean, just try to hang around, be in a good spot for that final stage, really, and just try to collect some wins. I mean, I'm kind of like in a bubble, like I'm pretty far behind those two, and I think I have a pretty good gap over the guys behind me. So I'm just kind of chilling till the playoffs start, really.
Yeah, hear you on that. I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked Mike about Pocono next week. How are you feeling heading into that race?
I mean, it can be hit and miss for me, honestly. I mean, I feel like the car is good. But like, I mean, Atlanta, it's really not a tough track to drive. You just have to try to make good passes when the opportunity presents itself and stay in position for the win. Pocono, it's three completely different turns, and turn one certainly is not my favorite corner on this game. So it's if you hit it right, you're gonna have a great race and a great lap. But if you can't get it lined up in the corner, it's gonna be a pretty long race. But um, I mean, I've raced Mike there a couple times before. It's been a while, but I was able to compete with him. I don't know about making passes and holding him off, but um, we'll just try to see. FRR races at Pocono this weekend. We're on the new cars, so it's not the same, but I might get a little bit of repetition down before then. Hopefully it
There you go.
helps me out.
Any little bit can help, even if it's in a different car.
Absolutely. Yep.
So once again, congratulations to you on your 4th win of the year. And I think that'll do it for me here in post race. I'll let you guys go, and I'm gonna wrap things up for the night.
All right. Thanks, Timmy, and good job to Mike and Elvin on their next week.
We'll see you next week. Elvin, you see who I'm getting in here, right?
Yeah.
I've been waiting all year to do this. Just want to give a shout out to MFF Hamlin Nation here. First top 5 of the season, had a pretty good run up there in 4th. Looked like he was in contention to the win. in the closing laps there had a pretty good battle between him and Mike RPM for second. Him and that 4 car were going back and forth quite a bit. And didn't quite get the best end of that, but like I've been saying for the last couple weeks, just he needs to get there at the end, and he was able to do that. And speak of the man himself, MFF Hamlin Nation finally getting a top 5 on the year. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing great, man. I feel like I should have had the win tonight, but some drivers don't know what respect is. It's okay, though.
I mean, it is what it is, but I gotta say though, I mean, like, glass half full, it is still a pretty
It was
Pretty-
a great day.
good day, best finish of the year for you, and it's a pretty strong run for that number 18 car on the year. I do gotta ask though, what's your thoughts on Chase Elliott?
Well, as any Hamlin fan, I think that, I think he's going to make the playoffs, but I'm still not a fan of him after what he did at Charlotte. I was there. I had to watch my driver, Denny Hamlin, get slammed into the outside wall. It's unfortunate. But, yeah, that's my opinion on Chase Elliott.
There you go.
Okay.
Finally got to do it. Alright, that's all I needed. But still a good run. Even if it's not what you were looking for, it's still a top
Yeah.
5, and it'll
I
definitely help
appreciate
with
it.
points.
It's great to finally be up here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alright, and we'll wrap things up here tonight. Elvin, you still in here? You got anything you want to say? Before,
Yeah, I got one thing to say.
I have the
Okay.
clip.
Hit that subscribe button, baby! That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
Have a
what
good
he
night.
said. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, what he said. Leave a like and all that. We out of here.